I hadn't expected to be alone on the trail, especially given its notorious name, the Devil's Path. But sometimes, solitude can be more comforting than the bustling noise of city life. The sky had grown slightly overcast as I ventured deeper into the forest, a silent guardian watching over me. In the tranquility, I could hear the symphony of nature, the rustle of leaves, the call of distant birds. However, as the day went on, the birds seemed to disappear, and an eerie quietness settled. Maybe it was just the time of day, I reasoned. A bit further, I stumbled upon an old, dilapidated shack. Through its crooked window, I could see remnants of someone's past life. A rusted bed frame, some shattered dishes. A cold shiver raced through me, not of fear but of the chill that had started to set in. Just as I decided to move on, a flicker caught my eye. It was a photo, aged and yellow, of a smiling family, a stark contrast to the decrepitude that surrounded it. Something about that image gnawed at me, but I couldn't place why. As I progressed, I realized that the trail seemed less maintained. Overgrown shrubs grasped at my clothes, as if trying to hold me back. I felt a creeping sensation of being watched. Shaking off the paranoid thoughts, I reminded myself that I was an experienced hiker and knew how to handle the wilderness. But soon, the path became unclear, swallowed by the forest. My map seemed inaccurate, or maybe I had strayed off without realizing. My phone, which had lost signal hours ago, was now only a device to tell time. As afternoon turned into evening, I couldn't shake off the disquiet settling in my gut. In the diminishing light, I decided to set up camp. But as I tried to start a fire, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I could feel the forest's eyes on me, scrutinizing, judging. I finally managed to light a fire, its flickering flames casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to creep ever closer. With every passing hour, the forest grew darker, the darkness itself becoming a tangible entity. It wasn't the lack of light that scared me. It was the isolation, the gnawing realization that something wasn't right. I tried to sleep, but the silence was deafening, oppressive. Every crackle of burning wood sent a jolt of fear through me, as though signaling the approach of something sinister. Around midnight, I heard it. A soft whisper weaving through the trees, like a serpent slithering in the grass. It was singing a melancholy tune, one that seemed familiar yet distant. I tried to ignore it, burying myself deeper into my sleeping bag. But the whispers grew louder, more insistent, drawing me in with an invisible force. Unable to resist, I followed the sound. It led me to a clearing where the moon cast a ghastly light on a small pond. There, in the midst of the water, was a figure, a woman with long flowing hair, singing a sorrowful song that seemed to resonate with the deepest parts of my soul. It was enchanting, terrifying, a beacon of darkness and the haunting beauty. As I stepped closer, the figure turned. Her face wasn't right. It was twisted, deformed, as though anguish and pain had carved grooves into her very being. Her eyes were voids, absorbing all light and hope. I stumbled back, my mind unable to comprehend what I was witnessing. She began to move towards me, her movements unnatural, disjointed. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, as though the forest itself held me in place. But then, a scream pierced the silence, shattering the enchantment. It was coming from the direction of the shack. My legs moved of their own accord, a primal instinct to escape taking over. As I reached the shack, I saw a group of people huddled together, their faces reflecting the terror I felt. They were hikers, like me, lost and drawn in by the sinister allure of the forest. The shack had become a refuge, a place to hold on to sanity as the forest tried to claim them. We barricaded ourselves in, as the woman's singing grew louder, more frenzied. Hours passed in darkness. The only sounds were our hurried breaths and the relentless whispers creeping through the cracks. The woman, or whatever she was toying with us, her song weaving a tapestry of despair and fear. As morning approached, the singing ceased, leaving us in a suffocating silence. We ventured outside, the forest appearing as it had when I first entered, innocent and untouched by darkness. We quickly found the trail, as though it had never disappeared, leading us back to civilization. I never found out who or what that entity was, and the other hikers were too traumatized to discuss it. The forest had released us, but not without leaving scars etched deep within our minds. The experience haunts me still, a nightmare woven into the fabric of my reality. It serves as a chilling reminder that there are dark corners in this world, corners that should never be ventured into. Because sometimes, the monsters we fear are not just in our heads. They are real, tangible, lurking in the forgotten places of the world, waiting to prey on the unsuspecting. Sometimes I can still hear her singing in my dreams, a siren's call drawing me back to that horrifying place. It's a sound that grips my soul, a chilling melody that hints at the darkness that resides in the heart of the devil's path, a darkness that I fear one day might claim me for good.